I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders -2.5 at the Tennessee Titans. I don't love this number. Like, I don't show a ton of value in it. But I love the matchup, and I am so down on Tennessee. And there's not much of a difference in the NFL between -2.5, -1.5. And there are much more concerning injuries on the Tennessee side. Although the Raiders, let me note here, they didn't have five guys, 5 starters at practice today. Renfro, concussion, their center James, Nichols, their D tackle, linebacker Perryman, and safety Morag, worth monitoring. Titans were missing 4. Lewan, who I think is going to be out for the year. I don't know. Keep getting conflicting reports there.
I think he's done.
Their right guard, Nate Davis. Fulton was back at practice, but limited. But the Titans signed. So let's break this down a little bit. By the way, the Titans are well-deserved 0-2. They got absolutely destroyed by the Bills. And I was super low on them coming into the year. I think that they have so much regression coming in close games. It is insane. But they get destroyed by the Bills. If you look at that, a lot of people are saying like the Giants deserve to lose that game. I disagree. If you look at that box score, I think the Giants went on the road and were the better team. Regardless, lost their home opener to the Giants, who weren't great, even though I'm high on them. They're deserved 0-2. The Raiders, on the other hand, I think are getting not enough respect. They lost to the Chargers on the road in week 1. Not a bad loss at all. And I think they had more yards per play, higher yards per play. Game could have went either way. And then the next week against the Cardinals, they play a healthier Cardinals team. They just took their foot off the gas. And I mean, they were 38-0 with a 20-plus point lead in franchise history. They're up 20-0 at the half, doing whatever they wanted. And they kind of just took their foot off the gas. And then things just went. They got a call that went against them on a 2-point conversion, just absolutely awful for a win total. By the way, just insane games last week. The Ravens, we'll talk about them in a second, but they had a 99% post-game win probability. It's the highest in a loss in the last 4 years. The Browns blow a 13-point lead with under 2 minutes to go.
And the crazy shit is Chubb knows
Chubb
this.
doesn't go down. Yeah.
I covered a bet. I remember this very vividly. I had Texans plus 3.5. Chubb is making his way.
I had Texans plus 1.5 too. Yeah. Down the sidelines.
But yeah, down the sideline. Steps out at the 1. We cover.
Yep.
So like
Unreal.
He knew he wanted that third touchdown for his fantasy owners. I respect it, but bro, and you know what's crazy? I was gonna point this out earlier. You were talking about I think the 4 times when I forget you're talking about a trend, but anyway, you said Browns and then you said last second instead of last second, and then you corrected yourself. That was like a brilliant Freudian slip, I just have to say. Brilliant.
That's amazing. Yeah, but I'm having an amazing first 2 weeks, but that was awful for the win total. It's like, well, Ravens future. We'll talk about the Ravens. I have the Cardinals under, who should have lost, and then I have the Jets under, who should have lost. But anyway, back to this game, Raiders Titans. The Raiders easily could be 2-0, and this whole narrative would be completely different. And then I just love this matchup here. So you're not going to have Taylor Lewan, and you're the backup left tackle, and you might not have your guard either. You have a couple of rookies on the line. You're going up against a really good edge rush. Your backup left tackle gave up more pressures last game in relief than Taylor Lewan has in his last 9 games combined. One of the worst backups in the NFL. The Raiders should be able to create pressure, and the Raiders' run defense has been really good so far this year, and the Titans' rush offense has been the worst in the NFL from an efficiency and explosiveness standpoint. Their offensive line is awful, as we talked about. Derrick Henry doesn't look like he has the same explosiveness, but he's just there's nothing there for him to run at. He doesn't look the same. And then you don't have to respect the outside, so it's easier as a defense to defend the run. The receivers don't scare you, and that's how you have to attack this Raiders defense. You have to be able to throw on their secondary, and the Titans can't really do that. So I just, on the other side of the ball, the Titans just signed Terrence Mitchell today because it doesn't look like Fulton will be at full strength to play. There are other options at corner. If Fulton doesn't play, are a Farley, who's basically a rookie, McCreary, who is a rookie, and an undrafted rookie, Trey Avery, who's probably still having nightmares from that Bills game. So Yeah, it's bad. The Titans that they still don't have their top pass rushers out for the year, and the Raiders' offensive line is kind of the weak point of that offense. I don't think the Titans can really take advantage. Their secondary is a mess. I think Carr will have a big day here. Will have enough time to take advantage of the mismatches he has on the outside. I think the Raiders' run defense has been really good. They'll be able to get pressure on the edge. And I think a desperate Ravens team versus a desperate Titans team goes into Nashville and gets this win. I think the Raiders are a respectable team, a slightly above average. And the Titans are, I'm telling you, bottom 8 team in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I think
might even be worse.
What really stands out to me about the Titans is they don't have that Derrick Henry magic, because that covered up for a lot. Like they could and they didn't always have to have the best offensive line, but they could count on maybe 3-4 times a game handing it to Derrick Henry, head of steam, and he just makes something happen and it creates points. And this year, he just looks like a big dude that's running slow into a pile. Like he doesn't look like if you didn't know he was King Henry, you wouldn't be scared of him if you were lining up a linebacker. You wouldn't be scared to bet against him. You wouldn't be anything. So that's an issue for the Titans. And for the Raiders, I think what's really going wrong is Derek Carr is kind of having some trouble adjusting to this new scheme. He kind of talked about he's not really making any checks at the line anymore. It's all just, McDaniel sends in the play. He goes where the play is designed to go. And I think that's just causing him to be a little bit robotic, as opposed to he kind of got better every year in that Gruden scheme. Whatever you think of Derek Carr, he absolutely was improving year by year in that scheme. Sure, and now I think he's just kind of back to that guy who we can't trust to be consistent, from a week to week basis. And he's admitted himself, but just looking at him play, I talked about Justin Fields, like Derek Carr is like right after Justin Fields and like all these metrics and like, turnover worthy throw rate and, just mistakes, interceptions, all that stuff. So, that's the only thing that kind of worries me, but I still do agree that the Titans are they're just a shell of themselves right now. They don't really have anything going for them. Maybe the defense can step up and create some pressure with that. That's kind of what they're going to have to do. But like you said, they can't run and they can't cover. And that's an issue going against this Raiders team. So I don't disagree.
Yeah. And they don't have the receivers to take advantage of a Raiders secondary that has a bit of an issue. Now you don't have your tackle and the offensive line is weak. And that's the strength of the Raiders defense is the pass rush. And look, both of these teams are 0-2 against the spread. Both these teams are 0-2 straight up. Both of them are being looked down upon by the market. Both of them will be desperate here. What this comes down to is I don't think that the market really has caught up to how poor I think the Titans will be this year. And so I think that the Raiders get this done on the road. So yeah, that'll do it.